These two contestants, Naomi Klein and Kenny Blank, will separate mathematical fact from fiction on Square One Challenge. Hi, I'm Reggie Cathy, and welcome to Square One Challenge. And now let's meet our host, Mr. Larry Cedar.
Hiya, how you doing, Reggie? Thank you very much. Welcome to Square One Challenge. Very excited about today's show. We have some great questions. We have some sensational contestants. Welcome, Kenny and Naomi.
Hi.
Now, you know how the game is played, so let's get right to our first question. Helping us out will be from Square One TV, Beverly Mickens. Hi. How you doing? All right, Beverly has in front of her a spinner. Now, here's the question. If you spin this spinner 100 times, about how often would you expect it to stop on red? Okay, if you spin the spinner 100 times, about how often would you expect it to stop on red? Now, with some answers to that question, our guests for today from Square One TV, Chris Franco and Arthur Howard. How you doing?
Great to be here.
Are you telling the truth?
Sure.
Absolutely. I got a funny feeling about these guys. All right, you've heard the question. About how often would you expect it to stop on red?
The spinner has 4 colors. 100 divided by 4 is 25. I say about 25 times.
Arthur says 25 times. Chris?
Well, the spinner pieces are the same size, and I think red would come up about 1/4 of the time.
1/4 of the time. All right, 25 and 1/4 of the time. Now, Kenny and Naomi, it's up to you to decide if Arthur is telling the truth or bluffing, and if Chris is telling the truth or bluffing. They may both be telling the truth. They may both be bluffing. You will receive 50 points for each correct decision. So think about it. We have a spinner here. Spin it 100 times. How often would it come up on red? Okay, you've had time to write down and lock in your decisions. Kenny, your decisions.
I think Chris is telling the truth and Arthur is telling the truth.
You believe that both Chris and Arthur are telling the truth? Remember, Arthur said 25 times. Chris said 1/4 of the time. Naomi?
I think Chris is telling the truth and Arthur is telling the truth.
You believe also that they are both telling the truth. That is certainly an option. Let's find out for 100 points how you did. Will the truth tellers please stand? Absolutely right. They were both telling the truth. And, Chris, could you explain it, please?
We are both right. The spinner has 4 colored regions, each the same size. Each color has the same chance of coming up. So each probability is 1/4. So when we spin the spinner 100 times, we should get red about 1/4 of the time.
But 1/4 of 100 is 25, so I'm right too.
There you go. Thank you, Chris and Arthur. Let's see how our contestants did on the first question. Kenny, you were correct about both Arthur and Chris. 50 points each. 100 points for you. Great start. Naomi also correct about Arthur and Chris. 100 points for you. Tie game. We're off to a super start. Let's head right into our second question. It's a video question, so watch the monitor. Here you see before you 2 candy bars of the same size. Now, if I cut one candy bar into fifths and the other candy bar into fourths, which candy bar would have the bigger pieces? The one cut into fifths or the one cut into fourths? There's the question. Let's go to Arthur for his answer.
A candy bar cut into fourths would have bigger pieces.
All right, Arthur says fourths. Truth or bluff? Chris?
The candy bar cut into fifths would have bigger pieces because 5 is larger than 4. It's only logical.
Chris says fifths. Truth or bluff? Think about it. 2 candy bars. One cut into fifths, one cut into fourths. Would one have bigger pieces? All right, you've had time to think about it and lock in your decisions. Kenny?
I think Chris is bluffing and Arthur is telling the truth.
You believe that Chris, who said 1/5, is bluffing, and Arthur, who said 1/4, is telling the truth. Naomi?
I think Chris is bluffing and Arthur is telling the truth.
You believe that Chris is bluffing and Arthur is telling the truth. All right. For another 100 points, let's find out how you did. Will the truth tellers please stand? Arthur is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing. Arthur, can you explain?
Yes. Both candy bars are the same size. One candy bar is cut into 5 pieces, all the same size, and the other candy bar into 4 pieces, all the same size. Because you have to cut the first candy bar into more pieces, the pieces will be smaller than the pieces in the second candy bar. 1/5 is less than 1/4.
Very good. Thank you, Arthur. Let's see how our contestants did. Kenny, you were correct about Arthur and Chris. Another 100 points for a total of 200 points. Very good. Naomi, you were also correct about Arthur and Chris. Another 100 points for a total of 200 points. We have a tie game. Excellent, excellent. Now we are heading into the challenge round, which may be the tiebreaker round. Here with the challenge question is Reggie Cathy. Thank you. Here is the challenge question. It is worth 200 points, but you must be correct about both Chris and Arthur to get those 200 points. It's all or nothing, so good luck. And here with that question is Beverly Mickens again. Hello.
I just couldn't stay away.
I'm glad to see you again. Here we have two cubes of the same size. Now we have a ribbon also with those cubes. You will notice that this ribbon will go around the two cubes 1, 2 times this way. All right, the ribbon will go around the cubes 2 times this way. Now here's the question. How many times will it go around the cubes this way? All right, it goes around 2 times this way. How many times will it go around this way? All right, let's go to Arthur for his answer.
The stack of cubes is twice as high as it is wide. If the ribbon goes around 2 times vertically, it will go around 4 times horizontally.
All right, Arthur says 4 times. Chris, your answer.
Look, when you go around vertically, you cross 6 faces. So the ribbon is long enough to cross 12 faces. When you go around horizontally, you cross 4, so the ribbon can go around 3 times.
Chris says 3 times. You've heard the question and their answers. Think about it. It can go around twice this way. How many times can it go around this way? Arthur says 4, Chris says 3. You've had time to write down your decisions, so let's go to Kenny.
Well, I think Chris is telling the truth and Arthur's bluffing.
You believe that Chris, who said 3, is telling the truth, and Arthur, who said 4, is bluffing. Naomi.
I think Chris is telling the truth and Arthur is bluffing.
You believe that Chris is telling the truth and Arthur is bluffing. All right, for 200 points in the challenge question, and remember, you must be correct about both Chris and Arthur to get those 200 points. Will the truth tellers please stand? Chris was telling the truth, and Arthur was bluffing. All right, now I'll explain this answer to you using the edges. If you start here on this corner and travel along the edges this way and back to this corner, you travel along 6 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time around, it's another 6 edges. That's a total of 12. So this ribbon goes around 6 plus 6, 12 edges. Now, when you start here and travel this way, you only travel along 4 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, to use up the entire ribbon, you'd have to travel around 3 times. And there you have it. All right, thank you, Beverly. Thank you, Chris and Arthur. Let's see how our contestants did. Kenny, you were correct about both Arthur and Chris. You get the 200 points. You have a total of 400. Congratulations. Naomi, you also were correct about both Arthur and Chris. Also get 200 points, 400 total. We have a tie game. Congratulations.
Yay, yay.
Now, in the event of a tie, you both receive equal prizes. I must congratulate you. You did very, very well. I think we have a perfect score here. Am I not correct? Yes. So, you will each receive a Square One TV jacket and the sound machine. Once again, congratulations on a game well played. Thank you. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Naomi. Thanks for helping out, gang. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Square One Challenge.
Square One TV presents You Call the Angle. Here's skateboarder Sean Miller testing the theory that what goes up must come down. Sean might defy gravity, but he has yet to defy geometry. In each of these airborne maneuvers, Sean's skateboard describes an angle. There are half turns called 180s, full turns called 360s, or turns and a half, which are 540s. Is this turn a 180, a 360, or a 540? You call the angle. Now, here's a clue. Amazingly, Sean did a 540. There are 360 degrees in a full turn and 540 degrees in a turn and a half.
You call the angle. Hello? Who? Wait, do I know you? You want to what? Let me make up a mathematical problem and you already know the answer. Wait a minute. How can you know the answer to a problem that I'm going to make up? Okay, sure, I'm game. Okay, wait a minute. What is the answer going to be? The answer will be 5. All right. Write down any number. Okay, that's easy so far. Now add 7 to it. Okay. Now, multiply by 2. Next, I subtract 4. Then I divide by 2. Then I subtract the first number I wrote down, and you tell me that the answer is going to be 5. Hey, the answer is 5. How did you know that? Boy, when you stay home during the day, you really get some weird phone calls. Hello? Hello? I'm going to try that again. I'm going to choose 100. Okay, then I add 7. Okay, and then I multiply by 2. 214, and I subtract 4. 210, then divide by 2. 105, then I subtract the first number I wrote down, and the answer is 5. That is amazing. So what I do is choose a number, add 7 to it, multiply by 2, subtract 4, divide by 2, then subtract the original number, and the answer will always be 5. Boy, are they going to hate me at the party tonight.
This is the Michigan Stadium, the largest college-owned football edifice in the world. On autumn Saturday afternoons, 101,701 fans gather here to cheer on their team. When the stadium is empty, and just to keep busy, a lone cheerleader places one Frisbee in the center of the playing field. Do you know how many Frisbees it would take to cover the entire playing field of the Michigan Stadium?
Yes, it would take about 98,000 Frisbees to cover the Michigan Stadium playing field.
Really?
Yeah.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Wednesday, 2:43 p.m., and New York was awash with visiting celebrities. Princess Di was visiting from England. Princess Anne was visiting from Monaco. Princess Cinderella was visiting from Disneyland, and the Princess Cruise Line was sinking in New York Harbor. We were working the day watch out of Mathnet. My partner is George Frankley. The captain is Joe Greco. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. George and I found ourselves in a world we knew little about, the world of Broadway show business. A dear friend, Eve Adams, was in a Broadway show, or was she? We decided to look at scenes from earlier shows to get back on the train of thought. Eve had the second lead in a revival of a musical called Anything Went. She dropped by our office to give us 2 tickets to the opening night performance.
I'd love to talk more, but
You have to dash.
See you after the opening. Show.
Break a leg.
Knock him dead, kid.
I loved the show, and more importantly, so did the critics. Eve got rave reviews, although the star, Lauren Bacall, was, well, what they call in showbiz, panned. At an opening night party, she said,
Miss Bacall, the show's gonna make it.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Oh, he loved you. You know how he's always kidding big stars.
Would you please remove yourselves from our path?
Miss Bacall, I wonder if I might trouble you for an autograph. It's for my mom. She used to take me to all your shows when I was a little boy.
Trouble, unfortunately, was just around the corner. Miss Bacchanal turned up missing for the next day's performance. But then Eve got a big break. She was Miss Bacchanal's understudy. Her substitute? She got to go on as the star of the show.
This could be your big break, Eve.
You're gonna knock him dead in the aisles, Eve.
And knock 'em dead she did. She was hailed as a new Broadway star. But then a note was found about the old Broadway star.
If you want to see your star again, get $5 million. We will contact you shortly. Yours very truly, the kidnappers.
Miss Bacchanal had been kidnapped. Later, we played the tape on her telephone answering service, and were astounded to hear,
What are you doing here? We're gonna have a party. Is it summer? What does it look like? And who are these two masked men? We're all party goers. Shout.
it went on, and it seemed to implicate my friend.
Eve, what's this all about? I have no idea.
Did you and Lauren have an argument, Eve?
Of course not. Why would we argue?
Why, indeed?
Morning, George. How are you?
Irate. That's how I am. Have you seen the morning papers, if that's what you call these rags?
No, but I heard the news on television.
Look at this headline. Broadway star, kidnapped by Broadway starlet. And this one, has been hijacked by would-be. And this one, Broadway biggie goes bye-bye.
They're being pretty rough on Eve.
And it's all circumstantial evidence, Kate.
I know.
We know that Eve did not kidnap Lauren Bacchanal. Unless
what?
Unless Eve did kidnap Lauren Bacchanal.
George, Eve has nothing to do with this kidnapping.
Don't be so sure, Kate. Or should I call you Kathleen?
You should call me Kate, Jose.
What's up, Captain?
The kidnappers called and left this message on the answering machine in Lauren's dressing room.
You must raise the ransom money. I've already given them $2 million from the production, but you'll have to raise 3 more. They're holding me at...
Rats, we were just getting to the good part.
When did this come in?
47 and 1/2 minutes ago. I'm bringing Eve Adams in for more questioning.
We've got to think of something. Some way to help Eve.
Kate, let me play devil's advocate.
What do you mean?
Let me sketch this scenario for you. Suppose, just suppose, Lauren showed up Tuesday night to do the show.
But we know she didn't.
No, we don't know that. Not for sure. So, let's assume she showed up.
No one saw her, George. Not even Pop bespectacled, and he sees everyone. Remember his mirrors?
Yes, but remember what the stagehand said. Pop's view. Is obstructed by this flat for about 20 minutes before the opening curtain.
So?
Again, just suppose Lauren showed up while the flat is blocking Pop's view, and Eve is in Lauren's dressing room, lying in wait, so to speak.
Eve wouldn't do that.
Lauren shows up. Eve has hired 2 big bozos to grab her and take her outside, again, while the flat is blocking Pop's view.
That is ridiculous. Eve is not that kind of person.
Kate, you knew Eve years ago. People change. Stardom is a powerful lure. It has a magnetic force unto itself, independent of other forces. I read that in the Sunday Times once.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Sergeant Abruzzi.
Here's a cassette.
I just heard it.
No, this is a different one. Bye, Kate.
Bye, Sergeant Abruzzi.
Couldn't have said it better myself. What kind of message is that? Play it again. Makes no sense.
George, remember another case we had a while ago in California?
I remember a lot of cases in California, Kate. Those were the good old days. The Dodgers, the Lakers, the Kings.
This case involved another kidnapping. Remember those two Looney Tunes from Michigan State who kidnapped Steve Stringbean, the rock star?
Oh, sure. He used the telephone and sang the tones to give us a clue as to where they were hiding them, of course.
Maybe this is something like that.
But no one is singing.
Something else. Play it back and let's see what numbers those tones correspond with.
Okay. Here's the first tone. Okay. The first one is a 2.
2.
The second is a 5.
Good going, Pard. Keep it up.
Maybe Lauren was trying to tell us where she was being held, just like Steve Stringbean did. It was a bit of a reach, but when you're trying to solve a problem and help a friend at the same time, you have to try absolutely every possibility.
There it is, Kate.
Off the top, there doesn't seem to be any number pattern that repeats itself, does there?
No, there doesn't.
George, maybe it's a phone number.
Pretty big for a phone number.
With the area code first?
Well, maybe.
Let's try it.
Okay. Dial area code 253.
253?
254. 687369. We got 2 numbers left over.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number or call your operator for assistance.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll ask my operator for assistance. Hello, ma'am. Can you tell me where area code 253 is located? It isn't? There isn't a 253 area code in the entire country. I see. Thank you, ma'am.
NG, Kate?
No good. All area codes in the United States have either a 1 or a 0 in the middle.
There are no 1s or 0s in the entire sequence.
Maybe it's a different kind of code. What if each number stands for a letter of the alphabet? You know, like 1 is A, 2 is B.
Okay. First number is 2. The second letter of the alphabet is...
A B.
The second number is 5. A, B, C, D, E. E is the 5th letter.
D, E. Go on.
Oh, wait a minute, Kate. This isn't going to work. We've only got numbers 2 through 9.
So?
Well, that would limit our alphabet to the letters B through I. We can't make very many words with just those letters.
Maybe we should use single digits and double digits.
Yeah. But the only double digit that would work is 25. That would be Y.
Uh-huh. And there are no 0s or 1s, so we can't have an A, for example.
And there are no letters corresponding to the teens. Maybe it isn't a code at all. Maybe it's just some kind of glitch in the phone system. You know, sometimes your phone rings and there's no one on the other end.
Or maybe we just haven't figured out the code. Maybe she's trying to spell the message in another way.
You mean spell without letters?
Kind of like that. Using phone numbers.
Numbers? Yeah. Every number on the phone has 3 corresponding letters.
Except 0 or 1.
Well, that fits. They're not on the list. Let's try it. I'll make a chart.
What's this? Taking a night course in hieroglyphics?
No, Captain. Just trying to figure out what this case is all about. How's Eve?
Sticking to her story.
Do you believe her?
Her story? I'd like to, but no. She's got too much evidence against her. She's got no alibi.
But, Captain...
Look, she had motive, and she had the opportunity.
Oh, boy. It's a lot better now, Kate.
Really? You got something?
I'm kidding. Listen. Cliff Cleovis boy.
Bless you.
Sounds like a linebacker from Penn State.
It's got to be a code. We just haven't broken it yet. What are you doing, Pard?
You know how many combinations there are on this chart, Kate?
I don't know. Millions? Billions? I haven't got my calculator.
Well, we can estimate. There are 12 columns with 3 letters in each column. That's 3 to the 12.
And since 3 times 3 is 9, multiplying 12 threes is the same as 6 nines. And 9 to the 6th is less than 10 to the 6th.
And we know that 10 to the 6th is 1 million.
So we're dealing with fewer combinations than 1 million. That's doable.
Have either of you Mathnetters seen this?
It does look familiar.
It sure does. It's the necklace that Lauren Bacchanal wears in all her shows. It's her good luck piece.
That's right. She's worn it in every performance for the past 40 years. She cherishes it.
Where did you get it?
Believe it or not, it was found by my men.
Really? Where?
In Eve Adams' dressing room a little while ago.
What are you going to do, Captain?
Nothing. Not until this evening's performance is over. Then...
Yes?
I am going to have to arrest Eve Adams and put her where the sun don't shine.
In jail?
In jail.
"100% of Square One TV is a production of the Children's Television Workshop. For a complete set of Square One TV teacher resources, send a check for $9.95 to CTW School Services, Box SQTV, 1 Lincoln Plaza, New York, New York, 10023. This program was made possible by grants from the National Science Foundation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the U.S. Department of Education,